Bob Costa says the WNBA is protecting Caitlin Clark at all costs. Basically, she's in protective custody. But before we get off into today's video, you come across this video, do me a favor. Please hit the subscribe button, turn your post notifications on, make sure you post your comment, make sure you share the video out, make sure you give the video a thumbs up. I see everybody in the comment section, #salute, and you know what my mantra is. Tell a friend to tell a friend. It might not be for you, but it might be for them. Well, Bob Costas on CNN sat down and spoke with Cari Champion, and they was going over the flagrant foul that Kennedy Carter assessed on Caitlin Clark. And what has happened, it has drawn a lot of media attention. And Bob Costas had some choice words that he said about that whole incident, pertaining the Caitlin Clark issue with the WNBA. But before we get off into today's podcast is sponsored by SeatGeek. SeatGeek, the official sponsor of Simply Ball Dropping Podcast, the #1 rated ticketing app, over 28 million downloads, 70,000 plus events from concerts to sports, all your tickets across the web, all in one place, rated 1 to 10. Green means good, red means bad, and all your tickets are by your buyers guaranteed. And remember, use my promo code SimplyBallDropping at checkout to get $20 off your purchase. And just remember, by using my promo code SimplyBallDropping at checkout, you're getting $20 off your purchase. Also know that you will be supporting the Simply Ball Dropping podcast. Well, let's get right off into it. Well, the Caitlin Clark controversy is still brewing and it's still headline news. And Bob Costas and Cari Champion sat down on CNN and they had a discussion about what has taken place with Caitlin Clark since she has came into the WNBA. Now, my personal beliefs, a lot of people are saying that a lot of, players are hating on Caitlin Clark. I don't think that's the case. A lot of people think it's jealousy. It might have some jealousy there, but I really don't think that's the case. We've seen this over the years in the WNBA. The rookies come in. It's welcome to the WNBA moments where they're going to play aggressive and give you hard fouls and things like that because it's basketball. I mean, these women are going out there competing, and this is their livelihood. This is the way that they gain money to support their family and their loved ones. And they're just being competitive. So in this situation, what has taken place? Caitlin Clark has come in as the WNBA cash cow, and a lot of people are watching the WNBA because of Caitlin Clark, which I see as, slightly ridiculous because there's other players that, people are tuned in to watch the WNBA for. You got the likes of Angel Reese. You got the likes of the veterans that are in the league. It's a lot of people, the Las Vegas Aces. You got other teams that people are watching. There's other superstars in the WNBA that people are tuned in to watch. We don't give enough credit for the veterans that have been in the league for a long time, that are the mainstays, that are holding it down. Diana Taurasi's. You had the likes of Sue Bird. You had the WNBA veterans of Cheryl Swoops, Tina Thompson, and others like that. And what has happened, Caitlin Clark has came in with an uproar. And it's not her fault. Like Cari Champion said, I don't think she wanted this attention. She just wants a ball. And the focus is on Caitlin Clark. And there was an incident that happened in a game between the Chicago Skies and the Indiana Fever with Kennedy Carter taking a shot on Caitlin Clark. And what that has done, it caused a stir in the media. And this is the most talked about thing. And it's very interesting what Bob Costas and Cari Champion sat down and talked about. So let's take a listen to what Bob Costas and Cari Champion was discussing on CNN. And then Bob Costas made an interesting point. Let's take a listen.
Fair to say, because it's complicated, like many things, there is an element of jealousy because of all the attention that Caitlin Clark has received. And some people will attribute some of that attention to the fact that in addition to being a very exciting and record-setting player, she is white in a league that is not as disproportionate, that's the wrong word, not as, what's the word I'm looking for?
Predominantly black, the
right,
NBA.
But not as much as the NBA,
yeah.
But I think it's closer to 50-50 from my observation. But it's still, there's a large African-American presence, and there may be some resentment from some people. But that doesn't mean that that's the entire story here. A lot of this stuff, to the point you're getting at, a lot of this stuff is what happens in sports. A highly touted rookie, white, black, baseball, football, basketball, hockey, they're going to be tested by the veterans. And sometimes that will cross a line.
Yeah.
What Kennedy Carter did was a dirty play.
It was a dirty play.
Flagrant foul.
And it was a flagrant foul,
Right.
and no one disagrees. But this is where I take issue. With your large platform, Stephen A. Smith, do you really have to promote the jealousy? There's an element of that, sure, but there's also an element of people saying, welcome to the league, Rook. You get the same treatment I get. I don't care who you are. America has a hard time looking at a black woman go aggressively towards a white woman. They better get used to it because this is how these women play the game.
Why is it? I mean, this is the thing. Look, I'm going to be transparent. I am not a huge WNBA. I'm not a big sports fan. Fine. But I look at this and I'm like, why are they treating Caitlin Clark like a child? She's a player. She's
She's a star.
Totally
okay,
agree.
so here's the
but
thing.
what I'm saying is, like, why is it that she has to suddenly be protected? She is an athlete like everybody else.
Well, they created rules for stars, like a Michael Jordan, if you will, and they create rules for stars because they do need to be protected. The reason why they are protecting her at all costs is because she is the reason why people are watching
Wayne
the
Gretzky
WNBA.
was protected.
Wayne
in the
Gretzky
NHL.
was protected. We can go. It
Yeah.
happens in all leagues, and I'm not saying she should not be protected. I don't think they should coddle her. In fact, I don't think they're coddling her. I think she wants to get out there and ball and play, and she doesn't understand the elements from college to pro.
Yeah.
And so what we're looking at right now, I believe in real time, is people, and this is a fair, it's yes and, Bob. It's yes, we should protect our cash cow because people are paying money to watch her, therefore
she's
we
brought
all
a lot
win.
of attention to the league.
But
Now, you heard what Bob Costas and Cari Champion was talking about. Cari Champion said they are protecting her at all costs because she's the cash cow. But like Monica McNutt was saying to Stephen A. Smith on First Take, there's other storylines in the WNBA that we could be talking about. Look what Asia Wilson is doing with the Las Vegas Aces. Look at her, remarkable start to this year. Last night, she just posted 35, 10, and 5, the first person to do that in WNBA history. That's 5 steals, 35 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 steals. There's other storylines. But Bob Costas made a very interesting point, and I want y'all to take a listen to what Bob Costas said about the incident between Kennedy Carter and Caitlin Clark versus Alyssa Thomas and Angel Reese. Take a listen.
Doesn't spark as much conversation isn't just that Caitlin Clark is a bigger star than Alyssa Thomas. It's because it's a black on black incident.
Wow.
And you don't have
he
don't
said it.
have that dynamic that people can comment on, yes, but also exaggerate and make the entire story.
Now, you heard what Bob Costa said. That was very interesting, man. Not trying to make this a black and white thing, but he brought up a very interesting point. The reason why the media did not, focus in on the Alyssa Thomas and Angel Reese incident because it was black on black. We've seen that through the course of the WNBA. And like I said before, there's tape on when Candace Parkes came in as a rookie, how they targeted her, the hard fouls and stuff like that. But we never really addressed that when it was happening in real time. But now that Caitlin Clark has arrived and she's getting banged up and beat up and, teams are playing her physical, that's the main focus. And the only reason why it's the main focus is because everybody has this notion that she's the cash cow and she's doing it by herself. And she's putting all these eyes on the WNBA. Now, the WNBA had eyes on them before, but not like it is now because, times have changed. But the WNBA has evolved over the years. And I just think it's a great product, and a lot of people are paying attention to women's sports in general. And there's storylines within storylines that people, want to see. But this notion of the WNBA protecting Caitlin Clark at all costs, I think it's a real thing. And I think, like Bob Costas said, It's basically like the WNBA has Caitlin Clark in protective custody. So you guys let me know what y'all think down in the comments section. Do you agree with what Bob Costas and Cari Champion was talking about? And this is going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. We're going to catch you on the next one. And remember, before you leave out the door, make sure you give this video a thumbs up.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.